Okay, we're going to begin our review of Chapter 1. For those of you that are remote learners, there's really nothing to watch, just the sound of the review. I thought I had a picture up for you, but maybe not. I'm not sure. But anyway, the test tomorrow is over Chapter 1 in your textbook teaching. There is a link to that chapter in Schoology in several locations. The test will be matching, true, false, and multiple choice. Okay? If you listen and know all the answers of what we review, you should have no trouble whatsoever on the test. Okay? Questions so far? Okay, guys, class people, feel free to answer the questions as we go through. And let me find my matching question. Okay. What do we call it? Now, the matching will mostly be vocabulary words. Okay, I need to see you listening, and I need to see all phones put away. What do we call the distinct and unique differences among people? And it starts with a D. It's a vocabulary word from the chapter. Distinct differences among people. Starts with a D. Anybody? Come on, guys. Look at your vocab in the book. Guess. D, I, V. Diversity. Unfortunately, we're letting ourselves be divided by diversity. But we're probably one of the most diverse countries in the world. We're a melting pot, okay, of different cultures, different races, and different people. We all came here. The only natives to the United States were the American Indians, okay? So diversity is the answer. It is a distinct and unique difference among people. What do you call someone that promotes or supports interests of others? In other words, and this starts with an A. This person or these people promote and try to support other people. Again, the best way to review for some of these matching questions is to look over your vocabulary, especially the matching in the companion website to the book. Anybody? A, advocate, correct. Advocate. An advocate is someone that supports and promotes the interests of others. What is a person who studies human behavior and mental processes and develops theories to explain why people behave the way they do? What kind of position or what kind of career or person, what kind of job title do they have? It starts with a P. Got it? What? What is it? I thought you had it. That's someone that helps in the office work in different entities in the education system. This is a person that studies human behavior and mental processes and develops theories to explain why people behave the way they do. A counselor has to have a lot of training in this field of study. It starts with a P. Close. Yes, that's right. It is a psychologist. You're almost there. That is psychology, correct? No, I didn't say you were wrong. Zoe, did you have something else to add? Okay, psychologist. What's the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist? No, they both work with the same area of study. Psychiatrists are a full medical doctor and can prescribe medications. Psychologists are just kind of there for the therapies and to give you support and information. So, school counselors have to have a lot of information in psychology, right? what do they call, this is a type of teacher that doesn't work in the education system. They actually design and conduct supervised programs to improve the skills of the company's employees. This is something I think I want to do when I retire for American Airlines. I want to teach customer service because I want all the perks. But unfortunately, the pandemic has made Americans have to tighten its belt. But what is this? This is a two-word name. The first one is C. The second one is T. Look at your vocab in chapter 1. Maybe it'll give you a clue. Somebody that doesn't work in the education system as far as public education. They work for corporations. That's a hint of the first word that starts with a C, to train their employees in specific skills. I don't know, did you? I may not have heard you. Anybody? C and T. It's a two-word answer. What is it? Yes. They're corporate trainers. Corporate trainers. Corporate trainers. These are post-secondary schools. What does post-secondary mean, guys? It means after high school, because high school is secondary. Very good. Post-secondary, remember that. You'll need that on another question. Post-secondary school is designed to just go in and teach you specific skills for a career. What kind of school is that called? Starts with a T. TSTC is one of them. Technical school. Technical school. And guys, don't rule those out if they offer something for you that you're passionate about doing, because you can make just as much money with degrees from technical schools as you can from four-year universities, sometimes more. Okay, we have such a shortage sometimes of technical workers. Okay, this is where learning takes place while students work in groups to discuss and solve the problems together. As a teacher, I'm constantly encouraged to do this because this is how work gets done in our country. Once you get out of school, we want you to do this as well. It starts with a C, and obviously the second one is learning. Collaborative learning. Collaborative learning. Okay, the courses taught in school and what is taught in each course and how it is sequenced is called what? It starts with a C. Curriculum. Another career goal I wouldn't mind doing when I retire, writing curriculum. You can write curriculum and publish it. It's really expensive. I told you about the curriculum I just wrote a grant for learning, teaching young people how to manage their money. You know how much that curriculum costs? $8,000. A lot of money. If you are not based with any particular religion or any specific group, if you're an organization and you're not, related to any special interest group or religion, you're considered to be non-what? Secretarian. It's not secretary. Yeah, I can't talk today. Sorry. Non-secretarian. That means, and the reason we bring that up in schools is a lot of schools are religious affiliated private schools. That's why public schools must be this, correct? Yes, they must be because of the separation of church and state. Thinking about things that are actually experienced is what kind of thinking? And it starts with a C also. And it has the same concrete. I was going to say it has the same name as some stuff under what you've been watching them pour outside the window. So if that helps you clue it in, concrete, you can actually see we've been seeing them pour concrete outside. That's how I help myself remember things, okay? I hope that helps you. I hope it does. A person who has less education or experience but works under the supervision of a highly educated professional, paraprofessional. And they serve, they're kind of like their assistants. And that's what a lot of paraprofessionals' titles are. They're assistant to the president, assistant to the coordinator of, secondary services, assistant to. And I think used to that a lot of times this was just called a secretary. It's not that that's a bad term, but assistant kind of really, I think, defines what the job really is. Okay, they do a lot of stuff, work hard. Thinking about ideas and concepts and connecting feelings with thoughts. Okay, you think about something and then you think about the feelings that go with that. Starts with an A. Tyrone, you got to think of one. It's also a type of art that's real all over the place and isn't real traditional. Starts with an A. Abstract? Yes. Is that what you were going to say, right, Tyrone?
Yeah.
You got it. Okay, abstract thinking is when we connect feelings to the concrete, okay? Got that? Got that clear? Okay, I've asked you this already, so I expect everybody's hands to go up on this. What do we call education after high school? It starts with a P. Very good. Post-secondary. And these are activities that take place before or after school. And it starts with an E. Like FCC, well, FFA and FCCLA are called co-curricular because they can actually be part of the course because we cover some of the teams. So all of the career and technical organizations that you join are not this, they are co-curricular. But the ones that you have to do outside the school days are called what? It starts with an E. Yes, Zoe? Extracurricular, excellent, yes, extracurricular activities. Okay, this is a group of conditions, both physical, intellectual, and behavioral, that can severely impact learning. And it's a two-word answer, and it's both of them start with a D. Okay, these are conditions, both physical, intellectual, or behavioral. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Developmental disabilities. I have to know as a teacher what my students' developmental disabilities are, and if they need modifications to help them be successful, then I have to provide those to them. Okay, any questions so far? Let's move on to some true false. Play is the main occupation of children. Is that true or false? I see a head. True. It is true. Play is children's work. That's how they learn. That's when I was in college, that was like a mantra. Play is a child's work. It was like burned in our brain in our children's developmental class. Play is a child's work. And so sometimes it concerns me if children don't always get as much time as they used to for just unstructured play. There's actually all kinds of studies done too in early childhood development, but I didn't even realize that there's so much that connects children's learning ability with their inner ear development. And one of the things that's really important for little kids when they're young to help their inner ear develop is to swing, believe it or not. And what happens, do many school playgrounds have swings anymore? Some. They're getting them back. For a while, they took them out. Why'd they take them out? Because they were dangerous. Kids could hit each other when they were swinging, and it was too hard to watch. But it's very important that some of the things kids do kind of are a little dangerous maybe, but we need to still let them do it under good supervision. One of the best kinds of swings for little babies even is to just get a platform board with a pillow. You could say, lay them even on their tummies and, have all four corners rubbed so it swings in all different directions. That's great for inner ear development for children. That was one of the cool things I learned when I taught 4-year-olds and some of the in-services that I went to. Just thought I'd throw that in when you're a mommy or daddy too. You can make something like that yourself, but swinging is really important for children's development. And just unobstructed play. And again, because of safety, you don't get to just go out and say, Mom, I'm going out to ride my bike, I'll be home at supper, and just roam the neighborhood like kids used to do, where they then got to involve themselves in creative play. Maybe they had a secret clubhouse and that, because parents have to just really be a little more careful, it seems like now, to watch for safety sakes. Okay? Some states require certification by a nationally recognized authority, such as the Child Development Association, CDA, designation from the National Association for the Education of Young Children, as a requirement to teach in a preschool. True or false? It says some states, not all states. True. If it said all, it would be false, but some. Effective preschool or pre-kindergarten teachers must have a thorough understanding of child development. Yes, yes. That's what, while they're developing as a teacher, you want to help them develop those things. Some of the silly things that you thought you did in kindergarten and preschool actually had a reason. Okay? Little finger plays and hand plays. Okay? Just teaching my 4-year-old this is up, this is down is a sequential step in their learning to begin to write letters and things like that. It's all tied together. And so someone that's trained in all of this development they need to understand that so they can design activities that foster it. Most elementary teachers teach in self-contained classrooms. True or false? True. Most do. Now, in Temple for a while, we got away from this in some of our magnet schools and such. Okay? But most elementary is still self-contained. Adult education is limited to the General Equivalency Diploma, which is called the GED program, for those who have not earned their high school diploma. In other words, once you drop out of high school and you don't get your degree, is a GED your only way to get the equivalent of that diploma? True or false? Mariah, what do you think? That's false. Take your headphones out, sweetie. All right. No, turn it off. We're reviewing. Thank you. It is, the GED is not it. You can go back and get your full diploma. It's a lot of work and it's hard, but you can do it. One of the candidates that's been running a lot of ads talking about how they dropped out of high school and had a baby and then went back to school, got their diploma, and then went to law school. That can happen. It's a lot of work, okay? Cooperative extension educators. What is a cooperative extension? Do you remember, first of all? This was actually another thing I was going to do when I went to college. They're people that provide adult education outside of school. Usually in Texas, we do this through the counties. We have Bell County Extension agents. Okay? And they provide instruction about agriculture and caring for a home, living, all that kind of stuff to adults. They provide adult education. Like, we just bought some land, and if we wanted to take a sample of the dirt to the extension agent in Bell County, they would send that off and analyze it and tell us what kind of plants we grow best in that dirt. That is a service that our taxes pay for that's offered to you free of charge. So you should use it. Every county in Texas has extension agents. So they provide educational programs only at universities for professionals. Is that true or false then? False. They're not They don't really usually have anything to do with the university. Maybe sometimes a lot of our extension agents are connected to A&M just because they're the agricultural university in Texas. But no, that's false. Cooperative extension can do their educational programs through multiple entities, not just universities. And they don't serve just professionals. They serve everyone. Teachers' salaries are higher than most other careers that require a bachelor's degree. In other words, teachers make more money than other people that have to get a bachelor's or 4-year degree in college. True or false? False. Good, Tyrone, you're correct. Most of a teacher's day is spent working with students individually. True or false? False. Most teachers agree that seeing students develop new knowledge, skills, and confidence can be the most rewarding part of teaching. True. And adult education programs are often government funded. Okay, let me repeat that. I don't think I made it clear. Adult education programs are often government funded. True or false? True. Most of the time, not all the time, but can you think of anything free education-wise that isn't through the government? I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Sure, there are some, but most of them are funded, just like the extension agents I was talking to you about, they're funded through the government. Developmental disabilities do not include intellectual or behavioral conditions that impact learning. We just talked about that. Is that true or false? Developmental disabilities don't include intellectual and behavioral conditions that impact learning. That's false. You're right, Zoe. False. They do. Anything pretty much that impacts learning is pretty much a developmental disability. Supporting staff in educational organizations is called administration and administrative support. True or false? True. Yes. Even though the assistant principals and Dr. Mayo are my bosses and they tell me how to do things, their whole job really is to support me, the teacher, along with their assistants and so forth. It's all there to support me so that I can serve you. A salary schedule is a budget that shows how teachers commonly allocate their personal finances. True or false? Is a salary schedule a budget? No. It has nothing to do with how teachers pay. Teachers are paid by their numbers of years of experience. So for that reason, probably no two teachers on this floor at this school get the same salary because we've all worked different numbers of years. In this department, some of us work different calendars than other teachers. We work longer contracts. And some of us have master's degrees and some of us don't. So all of those factors go into putting the salary schedule. The salary schedule is a chart that says, okay, with 0 years experience, this is how much you make. With 1 year experience, this is how much you make. And it goes down the road. If you have a master's, you make this, 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 this. Okay, that's what a salary schedule is. So that one was false. Tell me some characteristics of a good teacher. Patience, big one. Time management's huge. Dedication, anything else? Creativity is what I was thinking. Yeah. And sometimes what I think is so funny is creativity and time management don't always blend. There are people that are usually good at one aren't good at the other, so they have to kind of work at that one usually if you have one or the other. Is being intolerant a good characteristic of a teacher? No, it is not. Okay. What do you call the college degree that you get from a junior or community college that's 2 years, that then you can move on to 4 year, or it's a degree within itself? It starts with an A. Associate. Is that what you're going to say, Zoe? Okay, good. Most school districts divide preteens and young teens into separate schools because of, and this is a two-word answer, and they both start with D, but it's not developmental disabilities, it's developmental differences. They're just growing and learning and have totally different ideas and thoughts. And so there's always still a great big huge debate on whether or not ninth graders need to be with high schoolers and sixth graders. Do they need to be with the seventh and eighth graders, or do they need to stay with the fourth, fifth graders? That's always a big debate still, and it's not really settled anywhere. But it's developmental differences, okay, that determine, or is why we separate them. Post-secondary programs include what? Remember, what is post-secondary? After high school. So name some things you can do after high school to continue your education. 4-year college, a junior community college, and what's the other one I told you about that you can make a lot of money quick? Technical school. Excellent. All of those are excellent answers. Which of the following is true of most high school teachers? Okay, they teach all subjects. Is that true? No. They work a shorter length day. They generally teach specialized subjects. Yes. Okay, so that would be, they generally do that, and they specialize in those areas. Whereas elementary doesn't. However, in magnet schools and stuff, they've kind of gone to that in some elementaries. But generally, the big rule with high school teachers is they specialize. I specialize in family consumer science. So those are, even though that's an extremely broad field, that's why I teach so many different classes. Okay, but look at Mr. What's his name? Mr. B. Mr. Brett. He is a science teacher, and he teaches animal science, food science, I think some medical or some health science. I don't know if he teaches health science. What's the science class with the criminal justice program? But I think he teaches that. He teaches all those because he has the science background. Okay. What are the two subjects that there are the greatest demand for teachers in? Math and science. Why is that so? People that are good at math and science, generally, this is just an overview, and it's not trying to pigeonhole people. Really good math and science people generally maybe aren't drawn to being teachers. If you really understand and like those two subjects, it's hard to be a teacher of them sometimes because it's hard to understand how somebody doesn't understand them. Does that make sense? The other reason it's so hard, they can make so much more money doing other things. That's another big one. 5 questions. Okay. Which of the following is not often an additional responsibility of high school teachers? I'll just tell you this one. It's cooperative extension job. In other words, most high school teachers aren't required to teach adult education. What do school guidance counselors do? Yes, schedules mostly teach social skills, solve issues, cope with personal crises. They do a lot of stuff. Remember that administration support people don't just work in principals' offices, and curriculum developers help design course content, and long hours and sometimes less than ideal working conditions is one of the what of teaching. Starts with a C. long hours and less than ideal working conditions, one of the challenges. Okay? Wow, I didn't know that was going to take all period, guys. Sorry.